All right, so we have our friend, our good client's NSX here. This is a turbo NSX. The turbo kit on this car is a little over 10 years old. So we're doing some updates or some refreshes. A couple big concerns he had with it was the stability of it. It wasn't mounted a little poorly. And then the volume, the overall volume was much too loud. Before it was just a full 3-inch straight pipe, no mufflers, no valves, nothing. And the wastegate was dumped externally, so every time the wastegate opened, you'd hear that increase in volume. So what we're doing for them right now is we're adding 2 vibrant ultra quiet resonators. These are gonna be our primary mufflers. We're also gonna be adding a electronically controlled valve into the one exhaust tip. This will limit the exhaust only flowing out the one side while the valve is closed, which will help to make it another step quieter in trying to get it as quiet as possible for cruising around. Then when he opens up the valve, he will increase the exhaust flow a little bit and then at the same time make the exhaust note a little bit louder. At the same time, what we're also going to be doing is we're going to be tying the wastegate into the exhaust before the mufflers. This way when the wastegate opens, the exhaust gas will still have to go through the mufflers so that we still keep that note pretty quiet. I actually do have some of the pieces here that I've been working on right now. I have the wastegate dump tube. This little guy is a flex bellow, so this is going to help absorb vibration between the dump tube itself and the exhaust, allow for expansion and contraction as well as the exhaust heats up and cools down. And then beside it, I got a little piece here that I started for the exhaust tip. So this exits the vibrant ultra quiet on the passenger side, and then it's going to connect to some custom tips that we're going to build for out the back, because that was the other thing. He wanted to get some nice clean OEM looking tips for the cutouts, just to give it a nice clean look with the new paint and everything. A couple other little things while we're working on it we're going to be doing. There's a couple little minor exhaust leaks we're fixing, and then we're also replacing all the mounting brackets for the water to air intercooler. That way it sits tucked up and out of the way, and you don't have it hanging down hitting off the exhaust like it was used to. Also replacing the upper intercooler pipe, 2.5 aluminum. Before, the aluminum intercooler pipe used to actually hang below the exhaust, so it was the lowest point of the car. So when we rearranged how everything fit in the back, we just switched it so it's now at the top of the pocket back here, and we can insulate the exhaust or the pipe to keep the heat from transferring. And then a lot of airflow will move through the back too, which will all help to keep the exhaust cool, as well as that intercooler pipe. So for the rest of the day today, we're going to be building the sections that actually go to the tips and then tying the wastegate into the exhaust. Once we get that all welded, all the hangers finalized, and have the exhaust and everything sitting and hanging under its own weight, then we can go ahead, measure, and add on our custom tips. So Jay's going to be here with me following along while we build this, and that way you guys can kind of see it come through the entire process from, you know, just after starting to completed and firing up and hearing the new sound of this.
Soundstripe.
So what I just finished doing is tacking the tips on. Now that we have all the brackets finalized, they're fully welded, I like to hang the entire exhaust system so it sits exactly how it will when everything's done. And then at that point, I actually put the tips on, line them up, hop up on the ladder, see what it's going to look like from the top, and then measure the gap. That way we can then mirror all of that over to the other side, and that way we know this is exactly what the tips are going to look like when we're done. So now the final step, I'm going to pull the system off one final time, remove some of the final plastic wrap I got in some certain spots to grab it when I take it on and off, weld up those tips, and then put it on for the final install.